You might have heard the news echoing around the football world. Well, Liverpool are facing a seismic shift. After 2 incredible decades at Anfield, their phenomenal right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's heading to Real Madrid.
It really does mark the end of a significant chapter for Liverpool, doesn't it?
Totally.
Alexander-Arnold wasn't just, a defender. He was basically a fundamental architect of their attacking play from that right flank.
Yeah.
His departure leaves this void that demands a really smart solution.
Exactly. And that's precisely what we're diving deep into today. We're going to dissect the potential pathways Liverpool might take to fill this crucial role.
Right.
Consider this your essential guide to understanding the next strategic move for the Reds.
And to get a sort of comprehensive picture, we've pulled together a pretty wide array of sources.
Okay.
That includes insights from Liverpool.com, the detailed analysis you get from BBC Sport, the local pulse from the Liverpool Echo.
Always important.
Crucial data from Transformed, of course, the passionate fan perspectives from places like Anfield Index and 6 Crazy Minutes.
The forums.
Exactly. And those all-important player rankings from Football Fancast and Sports Dunya, too.
Absolutely. So our mission here is to give you, our listener, whether you're, a transfer market aficionado or just keen to stay informed, a clear and insightful view. Looking at the options being considered, the different angles being reported out there, and, the potential strategic ramifications for Liverpool.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so let's start by really getting a handle on the magnitude of Alexander-Arnold's exit.
Well, Trent Alexander-Arnold's move to Real Madrid, especially after such a long and successful career with Liverpool, it's a really significant event.
It is.
His statement about seeking a new change, a new challenge, that highlights the personal drive behind this decision, right?
Yeah.
After contributing so much.
And what a contribution it's been. 353 appearances, 23 goals, and an astonishing 92 assists from a right back.
It's incredible.
He truly redefined what that position could be, didn't he? Became this unbelievable creative force for Liverpool.
Yeah, and his role under Jurgen Klopp was particularly interesting. Remember how it evolved into this almost hybrid player.
Drifting infield.
Exactly, drifting infield when Liverpool had possession. It'll be fascinating to see, or rather would have been fascinating to see, how Arne Slot might have envisioned using him. Suggestions were pointing towards maybe a slightly more conventional fullback role, but, still emphasizing his attacking capabilities.
It's also worth remembering that while his defending has been, a talking point over the years,
Oh, yes.
the statistics actually indicate an improvement under Slot, apparently, an increase in tackles and interceptions.
Really? That's interesting. So he was developing his game, both sides of the ball.
Seems like it. Now, the big question that everyone's asking, who can possibly fill that role? Let's look first maybe at a potential internal solution. Connor Bradley.
Right, Connor Bradley. He's been waiting in the wings, hasn't he? As Alexander-Arnold's understudy.
Yeah.
And as a graduate of Liverpool's academy, there's a lot of, understandable excitement among supporters about his potential to step up.
And Slot seems keen.
Arne Slot has certainly publicly voiced his belief in Bradley's capabilities. Yeah.
And Bradley brings a different set of qualities to the table, doesn't he? He's known more for his strong defensive work rate.
Right. Enjoys the physical side.
Enjoys the physical side of the game. Yeah, excellent at counter-pressing. And his movement off the ball, those sort of underlapping runs into central areas, they can be a real threat.
It's a fascinating stylistic contrast, actually, where Alexander-Arnold's brilliance lies in that expansive passing range and vision.
Yeah, the Hollywood balls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bradley's strengths are more in his directness, his tenacity in the tackle, and that defensive solidity.
But there's always a but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to be mindful of his relatively limited experience with consistent starts. Fewer than, 1,200 minutes this past season?
Not a huge amount.
And his history of recurring injuries is a factor, too. Liverpool will need to manage his development carefully, avoid putting too much pressure on him too soon. He's only 21.
Absolutely. Which naturally leads us to the external options. And, one name that's been heavily linked, generating a lot of discussion. Jeremy Frimpong.
Frimpong.
Yes, the Bayer Leverkusen wingback. Reportedly a target, and his $30 million release clause certainly makes him financially attractive, doesn't it?
It does. Frimpong definitely brings a lot to the conversation.
Yeah.
He's relatively affordable, like you said, qualifies as homegrown because of his time at Man City's academy.
Good point.
And there's just no denying his attacking flair. his explosive dribbling, that would offer Liverpool a completely different kind of threat on that right side compared to Alexander-Arnold's pinpoint passing.
A different weapon.
A different weapon, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's also shown versatility, being able to play in more advanced wing positions too.
Ronald Koeman's certainly been vocal in his praise, hasn't he? Describing him as lethal in attack, a big threat, good pressing ability, and an amazing weapon because of his sheer speed.
Koeman knows him well from the national team setup.
And the statistical comparison with Alexander-Arnold, BBC Sport did one. It really highlights their contrasting styles.
How so?
Frimpong completed more than double the number of dribbles this season, but made less than half the passes.
Oh, okay. Polar opposites in some ways.
Kind of. He also had a significantly higher percentage of his touches in the final third. Interestingly, he was involved in more goals per game as well.
So if we connect this to Arne Slot's reported tactical preferences, you hear talk about narrower, more conventional fullbacks.
Right. Less of the swashbuckling sprints forward, perhaps.
Maybe a potential shift away from that expansive style we saw previously.
Yeah.
So the potential signing of both Frimpong and maybe Milos Kerkez on the left, that could indicate a real tactical evolution for Liverpool, a radical alternation even.
However, back to the defending. That side of Frimpong's game is where some, significant concerns have been raised.
Yep, the Koeman quotes again.
Exactly. Koeman himself publicly questioned his defensive capabilities, stating that a right back should be able to defend well in the first place. Pretty blunt.
It is. And the stats seem to back that up.
His statistics seem to support this, yeah. A much lower percentage of touches in his own defensive half compared to Alexander-Arnold, 22% versus Trent's 48%.
Okay, that's a big difference.
And the fan forum, 6 Crazy Minutes, you mentioned them earlier, it reflects these worries about his defensive solidity. Some fans feel it might be a similar situation to Trent in that regard.
Which brings up a really important question about tactical balance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could Slot integrate Frimpong's undeniable attacking talent while, mitigating any potential defensive vulnerabilities, perhaps through adjustments in the overall team structure?
It's the key challenge.
And Liverpool.com also raises a valid point about how Frimpong's arrival, presumably as a likely starter, could impact the development pathway for Connor Bradley.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect Frimpong to join as a backup at this stage of his career, would you?
Highly unlikely.
Yet the Liverpool Echo is reporting Frimpong as a priority signing, suggesting the club sees him as someone ready to compete for that starting role immediately.
So it's a real dilemma.
Yeah.
Trust Bradley, bring in Frimpong. It's clearly a central point of discussion internally, you'd imagine.
Okay, let's turn our attention to another potential external option then. Lateral Geertruida.
Geertruida. Yeah, he's an interesting profile. And Liverpool.com seems to view him as a strong contender.
What's the main appeal?
Crucially, he has that prior working relationship with Arne Slot from their time together at Feyenoord. That could make for a much smoother transition, tactically speaking.
Knows the system.
Exactly. And at 24 years old, he also fits right into Liverpool's preferred age demographic for new signings. Plus, he's been playing regularly at RB Leipzig, getting Champions League experience.
And a key attribute that really stands out with Geertruida is his versatility, right?
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
He's not just a right back. He can operate effectively at center back, left back, even in midfield. Apparently, he's played in all of those positions this past season.
Wow. That's incredibly useful.
It is. What's particularly interesting here is how Geertruida could provide valuable squad depth across multiple defensive positions. He could potentially serve as an ideal backup or competitor for Bradley at right back, while also offering cover elsewhere if needed.
And the fee?
Liverpool.com suggests that negotiating a transfer fee might be more straightforward due to some reported dissatisfaction, maybe at RB Leipzig. His versatility really adds another dimension to his potential suitability. He ticks a lot of boxes.
So beyond Frimpong and Geertruida, who are the sort of the next tier of names being circulated?
Well, Liverpool.com mentions Ola Aina and Kyle Walker-Peters, experienced Premier League options, who might offer a degree of reliability, perhaps without necessarily hindering Bradley's long-term development as much as a big signing like Frimpong might.
But maybe not guaranteed starters for a title challenge.
That's the question, isn't it? Do they possess that consistent top-level quality week in, week out? Transfermarkt lists several other interesting possibilities, too.
Such as?
Javier Reid from Feyenoord, made his debut under Slot, offers promising attacking output. Nicolo Savona, a versatile young defender from Juventus, getting compared to Chiellini, apparently.
High praise.
Indeed. Zakaria El Wadi from Genk, noted for his speed and technical ability. And Tino Livramento from Newcastle.
Livermento's impressed a lot of people, hasn't he?
He has. Alan Shearer called him outstanding at one point. Sports Junior rates him highly, too. Strong defensively, good going forward, but probably a higher market value, around 35 meters.
Right. And BBC Sport highlighted 3 perhaps less widely discussed names.
Yeah, they dug a bit deeper. Gueledou of Strasbourg, versatile again, right back, wide center back, wing back, strong 1v1, good ball progressor. Anton Guy from Ajax.
The Danish Beckham.
That's the nickname, yeah. Apparently due to his crossing quality and variety, powerful crosses, low diagonal cutbacks, improving defensively, good pace, set-piece taker. Seen more as a project signing, though.
Okay, one for the future, maybe.
Potentially. And Martin Fernandes from Porto, very young, 19. Creative, 5 assists, excellent crosser, high expected assist stats. Good composure, good engine. Described as raw talent who could potentially develop into that Alexander-Arnold creative mold down the line.
Lots of potential there. And the fan forums. You mentioned 6 crazy minutes earlier. Who did they favor?
Their poll overwhelmingly favored Frimpong by quite a margin. But other names were in the discussion. Olaina, Vanderson, Javaro Reed again, Pedro Porro.
Porro is an interesting one, statistically quite similar to Trent in attack.
Some fans pointed that out, yeah. But opinion was definitely divided on Frimpong's defending versus his attacking threat and the impact on Bradley.
And the rankings. Football Fancast and Sports Junior.
Football Fancast top 15 right-backs from May had Alexander-Arnold first, Frimpong second. Livramento and Porro were also in there. Sports Junior's top 10 from April was similar. Trent second, Frimpong third. They also had Jurrien Timber, who can play right back, at fifth, and Livramento 10th. So Frimpong consistently features very highly.
It's a really diverse range of profiles being mentioned, isn't it? From, established attacking wingbacks to these versatile defenders and exciting young talents.
It is. And this all feeds into the broader strategic considerations for Liverpool, doesn't it? Especially with Richard Hughes now leading the recruitment as sporting director.
Yeah, his appointment definitely signals a potential, a shift maybe, an overhaul perhaps in Liverpool's approach to recruitment. There's talk of innovative recruitment tactics.
It seems so. His philosophy, judging by his successful time at Bournemouth, seems to prioritize strong collaboration and communication within the recruitment team. A focus on identifying young talent with significant potential, using maybe more in-depth man-marking style of scouting, really getting to know the player, and a clear admiration for attacking, possession-based football.
And that preference for attacking, possession-based football strongly suggests they'll be looking for a right back who not only fits Arne Slot's specific tactical system, but also, aligns with the overarching footballing philosophy of the club.
It has to fit both, ideally.
It's such a delicate balancing act, isn't it? Between addressing the immediate need, replacing a genuinely world-class player, and nurturing the long-term development of someone like Connor Bradley.
Absolutely. And the versatility of potential signings also appears to be a really significant factor under consideration. It just reflects the demands of modern football, doesn't it? Having a squad capable of adapting to different tactical situations, covering injuries.
It seems crucial now. So, to try and bring it all together, Liverpool faces a truly complex and frankly pivotal decision.
No easy answer.
Replacing a player of Trent Alexander-Arnold's caliber and influence is never going to be straightforward. We've explored the possibility of Connor Bradley stepping up internally.
The Academy wrote.
The dynamic but perhaps defensively riskier option of Jeremy Frimpong.
The exciting attacker.
The tactically versatile Latrell Geertruida, who knows the coach.
The flexible option.
And a whole host of other intriguing names, each with their own, strengths and potential drawbacks.
Each of these options presents its own unique set of trade-offs, really. Forcing Liverpool to carefully weigh attacking threat against defensive solidity, immediate impact against future potential, and tactical flexibility against maybe positional specialization.
And that leads us nicely to our final thought for you, the listener. Considering this really wide spectrum of potential replacements and the new direction under Richard Hughes's recruitment leadership, what kind of right-back signing do you think would represent the most ambitious and strategically sound direction for Liverpool's future?
Good question.
Beyond the qualities we've discussed today, the attacking output, the defensive work, the versatility, what other crucial attributes will be absolutely essential for anyone stepping into those, very big boots left by Trent Alexander-Arnold? Yeah,
it's certainly going to be a fascinating transfer window to watch unfold for Liverpool. Lots to consider.